Welcome to the Venture Vault. I'm Michael Benatar, and today's guest is a cosmetic industry expert, author, speaker, and made over 750 products. Ame-Ann DeJohn, right? DeJohn, founder of Colorsimer Beauty and Media Lab Science. How you doing?
I am excellent. It's so great to connect with you today.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we're both in LA, so we know there's a lot of entrepreneurs and founders out here. But I love your take on the Media Lab Science. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about that?
Sure. Media Lab Science is exactly what it sounds like, right? It's a media production company that creates content, but it does it only in the beauty space. And your lab science is the clinical testing part of it. So imagine being able to create content, but having proof that somebody created that content. Unlike
Mhm.
sometimes you always wonder if an influencer actually tried the product.
Yeah.
Well, at Media Lab Science, they tried the product.
And with all that, is there an expense? Like, is it super expensive? If I was making a beauty product, would you guys? Is it a big charge for you guys? Because I know when I was doing some testing with like our dog treats, we were trying to get it, studied and lab tested and all this stuff. And it got really expensive to do if I wanted to do a study, it was really expensive, but some of the testing was a little bit easier. But when companies are coming to you, are they kind of saying, hey, we really need this done, or have they already had it done previously in the past? Like, is this just kind of reconfirming their science, I guess?
So, as a product developer and developing products for over 15 years, I understand the product development lifecycle. And so, for those people who are new to that, you have to have your products have to be safe, number one, right?
Yeah.
You have to have the safety testing, and that's done previous to clinical testing. So, clinical testing and what we do at Media Lab Science is efficacy. Does it work? And show me that it works, right?
Hmm.
So, you don't have to do clinical testing. But do a lot of beauty brands do? Absolutely. Because
Yeah.
how are you going to stand out unless you have testing? And so when we do testing, it's to prove the product is efficacious or effective. And that can be expensive. It can run anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000.
Yeah.
And if you think about doing that, if you're launching 3 products this year, I mean, it can be quite expensive. There are ways to do more simple testing, like safety testing, dermatologist tested. Those types of things are a little bit easier and less expensive. But there's also safety and use testing to prove that the product is effective and safe at the same time.
Hmm.
So it can be very expensive. And if you think about the best way to do that is why aren't you creating content around it? And
Yeah.
we're the only ones in the world at Media Lab Science that do those two things together.
No, that's great. I think it's nice to have like an all one stop shop kind of and just do it all at once. Tell me about the beauty industry, because I'm not really in it. My wife's, she loves all her products. I use very minimal stuff, a little sunscreen, maybe occasionally a face wash, and that's pretty much it for me. But I do see, I mean, we're here in LA, so I see shops all over the place. But is there it kind of seems like it's a very quick cycle for a lot of brands. And I know you just exited on your company recently. So tell me more about it, because I think it's interesting because you see all these celebrities making their brands and beauty products. Is it actually that good of a business, or is it just kind of you're in and out and the next person's going to kind of come in and take over a bigger brand?
It's interesting is tell me about the beauty business is a loaded question.
Yeah.
So how about if I tell you the part that I know
Yeah.
anyway?
Yeah. Tell me about what you know. Yeah.
So the beauty business, everyone uses personal care products, right?
Hmm.
The average person uses over 17 products a day from the time they brush their teeth to whatever else they're doing. And
Yeah.
that doesn't even include the ingestible part that makes us more beautiful, right? Which is an up and coming area of the beauty business is the ingestible nutraceutical.
Hmm.
But if you think about the beauty business overall, the best part about the beauty business is it makes people feel better. And the most successful entrepreneurs are the entrepreneurs that are not in the beauty business because we're jaded, right? If you talk to me about another serum, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're all the same.
Yeah.
They're not the same, but they are all very similar, right? They're all
Hmm.
going to make you look and feel younger. The hardest part is trying to figure out is something different and is that going to work on that person's skin? And so you can create beauty products that do anything. It's getting the people to use them. like yourself,
Yeah.
Michael, you don't use
Yeah.
enough beauty product, it
I
sounds
know.
like.
I definitely don't use enough. I try, I try to do stuff, but it does seem very much like I always think of Liquid Death because everybody was buying bottled water and then Liquid Death came around and now all of a sudden we're buying like fun cans that are branded a different way. Same product, same thing. And that's where I feel like your company, Media Lab Science, comes into play where you're more about like the journey of marketing and telling people the story. And I think that's super important for a lot of entrepreneurs too, because a lot of times you start a business and you don't have that like passion behind it. And even though you don't think anybody can feel it or see it, I really do think they can. And it really does come across. If I hated doing this podcast, I feel like people would know, like, oh man, Michael doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to interview anybody. But I think it really does. And how do you tell these brands that are coming to you that that's really important, and how do you show them that with some of the videos and product and studying all that stuff? How do you kind of portray that?
Well, I think it's interesting is that brands already know that content is king,
Hmm.
right? They already know it. They need more content than they've ever needed before and
Yep.
after photos, video content, video testimonials, selfie, B-roll, all of that. They create ads from all the content. And so I don't know, I had this idea over lunch and I was meeting with another clinical testing lab in 2020 and we started Media Lab Science. And then in 2021, we were acquired by ALS Global. And so as a product developer, I know you need content
Hmm.
and I know you need testing. So why not have it together? So
Yeah.
I feel like it was just laid out. Anybody could have done it. I just happened to be the one with all the years of experience to have the experience to be able to do it, to have experience in production and content creation, have experience in product development and understand clinical, because most people do not understand left brain and right brain at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. And I
Yeah.
love science and I love creative. And so putting those two things together in a very simple way that brands could, we were busy from the day that we opened.
That's great. It's a very interesting space to me because I think it, I see my wife buying all the stuff and I see it all the time. And she's following influencers that are telling her, like, oh, this is my favorite product and this is that. And, where does the kind of where does the iteration come when somebody's coming like with the new products that are coming in? Because I always think like, how are these companies or these celebrities? I always think of Kylie Jenner for some reason because I feel like she was a really big brand and she sold her company for like almost $1 billion, and I don't think it's doing very well now. And is that just because she just is not in it anymore? She's not the one talking, posting about it. She's now advertising like whatever else. But yeah, it's a fascinating spot because it's very much almost like a culture shift. Like this person's using it. This is what's hot right now. And you can even see it with, Huberman or some of these other medical guys that are talking about like, I even got sold on it. I bought a super expensive probiotic that's like similar to like a GLP-1 that helps me like break down carbs and all this. And I'm like, oh yeah, $100, like give it to me. Like, let me try this. And I never thought about it before. And I'm sure it was around, but it's so funny how that changes. And with some of the stories, do you see anything that's coming in the next few years? I mean, working at the company, like, is there the next hot thing that's coming soon?
There are so many good things coming out. I mean, hair for sure
Mhm.
is a huge topic right now. Scalp
Anything that can
health.
help me keep my hair? Anything good
Yes.
coming?
Yes. And, I want to touch on a couple of things that you said. One
Yeah.
is companies buy other companies for distribution.
Yeah.
And the best and fastest way is to get distribution is exactly what you said, is to have somebody tell you about the story.
Hmm.
And so at Media Lab Science, we have people just like yourself. And since you are close, I have a feeling you're going to start being one of our testers, Michael.
Yes, I'll come by
Is
and tell. Yeah, for sure.
you come in
Okay.
and you're ready for that next greatest thing. Well, at Media Lab Science, as a product tester and participant, you can actually test those products confidentially, of course,
Hmm.
and you can give your review on a UGC style video.
Okay.
You fill out a survey about that. You get paid to test it and you get the
Love it.
product
Okay.
for free. And so
Okay.
you're a lot of people who test the products with us are product innovators. And especially being in Los Angeles, we have a really unique group of people who are very interested in beauty.
Yes.
They're not
Yeah.
just interested in testing, right? They're interested in what new great beauty product am I going to
Yeah.
test?
How
What
to stay young.
personal care?
Yeah.
What
Yes.
ingestible? What topical? What hair product is it? Am I going to take something inside and then is it also
Hmm.
going to make something on the outside change? And so the innovators who are creating these products, whether they're celebrity driven or not, they know that content is the most important part. And so what you
Hmm.
mentioned is Kylie not creating that content. Yes, it's not new anymore. It's not fun. I People want the next best thing.
Hmm.
And yes, maybe there's always the trail down, where you get the middle of the market and
Yeah.
things keep repeating, but eventually that dies out and for the next best thing. And the next best thing always comes from people outside of the industry. Because I'm
Hmm.
jaded. I shouldn't create products because I'm too jaded.
Yeah. Because you know it so well. Yeah. So the people outside the industry, are you talking about like the Hubermans or these like doctors? Like I listened to Peter Attia and all these people. And it's not even, I guess I'm not even thinking of it as beauty, but I guess it kind of is. It's like, hey, if I want to stay young and healthy at 100 years old, I have to be able to do like all these things. So maybe I should fast for, 16 hours, 18 hours a day. And maybe that is sort of the beauty thing. Maybe not, you can't monetize it, but it is like saying, oh, well, you could try this ketone thing that will help you not be hungry. And there's so many things. And I guess maybe I'm in a different realm of it where I just ingest stuff that instead of putting stuff on my face. But with the media, is there a like when a brand comes to you, are they usually newer brands or are these the brands that have been around a while? Like, you go to, I don't know, Nordstrom and you see a lot of brands that have been there forever, like Clinique or I'm trying to think of a few. I can't think of any, but you go down an aisle and all the colognes there and I see all these brands, they've been there forever. How do they stay around? Are they just scooping up people or are they still innovating on their side?
They're still taking innovation, but they usually larger brands take less risk,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if you think about an entrepreneur, they're usually mortgaging their house, their 401k, they're putting a half
Yeah.
a million dollars into this. And so they need to move fast, right? And larger brands typically are more into the testing. They're typically more into making sure that everything is done correctly. Where a newer brand may skip a couple steps here and there, but they're still coming to us, right?
Hmm.
Because we're creating this content that they can use for ads. They're creating content. I mean, we've had brands come in and we'll have 15 people try product for 10 days, and then we'll create TikToks around it. So
Yeah.
there's all kinds of ways that you can create content around testing. And the other thing is nobody wants a curated story anymore. They
Yeah.
want to the real, right? They want to
The
see
real
people in
thing.
their
Yeah.
bathrooms. They want to see people in their living rooms. And that's why podcasts are more popular, right? It seems
Yeah.
more real than just a news story. And so that creation makes the product successful, but the ideation comes from outside the industry. It's like, why can't we have something, like you said, why can't we have something that grows our lashes? Oh, guess what? Now we do. Why can't we
Yeah.
have something? I want somebody to create something that can change my eye color, not
Okay. All right.
contact. I want to be able to put
Yeah.
an eye drop in and say, oh, it changes your eye color.
Yeah.
But if you know anything about, I have a friend who's a ophthalmologist, and he's like, if you saw how eyes were created, you wouldn't ask me that question. It's like some concave thing happening in your eye that gives you the eye color. So I
Yeah.
guess it's harder than I think. But again, I'm outside of that industry, right? Change my eye color. It's well, not
Yeah.
that easy, but somebody will figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen funny you mention that. I feel like I saw a TikTok recently. I think somebody like almost tattooed their eyes to make it dark or something like that, which seemed crazy. I'm sure it did not end well, some infection or something like that, but maybe that's not the way to go. But yeah, it's I just think about the industry itself and it seems very fast moving. And I feel like a maybe not a fast moving industry, but like the dog industry kind of slow, kind of the things are there. There's established brands, and you're just trying to like break through that barrier. And once you're there, you're kind of in the household. You're there for a while. And it does seem a little slower because we have like fanatical fans. Like you are a dope dog. You were there for a while. And with beauty, it's like the next best thing is coming up. It's like, oh, well, we don't do lipstick anymore. We do like whatever, like lip
Lip
gloss that does
oil.
this and change. Yeah, it like changes colors in the sun or something and it is just ever moving. Like, I see my wife always buying stuff just randomly, like, oh yeah, my esthetician told me this, and now I'm doing this stuff, and it's exciting. It's definitely exciting. And what are some of the products you're seeing today that you're excited about? I know you've been in the industry a long time, but is there like a newer brand? Like you could shout out some brands you're like, oh, I love this product they're doing or that product or anything for me, any hair products. Like I'm always trying to think about how to keep my hair, stuff like that.
So there's so many supplements out there for hair that really work. So, and that's
Yeah.
exciting that that's coming out. One of the things that I personally love is that they're dialing it down. Like for instance, like we talk about you, right? So there's going to be coming products for the beard where you can put them
Hmm.
on the specific area of your beard that doesn't grow.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I haven't had that issue, but it is very interesting. I see people trying to grow their beard and it's like they struggle with it. And I don't use it. I have one of those like derma rollers for my hair. I'm like worried about this section. By the way, if people are listening, I'm not bald, but I feel like I'm could be there in a few years, maybe. Like my hair is like thinning. I'm a little worried about it. So I tried that derma roller. But yeah, I think I'm taking what's it called? I'm taking Nutrafol for my
Mhm.
hair, which I
Yep.
don't know if it works, but I'm just like, well, I'm taking it. It couldn't hurt, right? It's got vitamins in it. Yeah, is there anything else for like face stuff or any sun? I know sunscreen's a big issue right now where there's like,
Sunscreen is definitely one of the largest growing categories right now.
yeah,
And one of my favorite brands is Dune Sun Care. It's an up and coming
okay.
brand, and it has a couple really great products that I love. One of them is the Mineral Melt, which is a mineral sunscreen that is excellent for every single day. It's great, and it's got anti-aging benefits, which is excellent, hydration and firming and fine lines. They also have an incredible after sun product called Lifeguard,
Cool
which is
branding
really
too.
soothing
I'm
and
looking at it.
calming after the skin, and it's a really fresh, fun brand. So that's one of the things that are for innovation. There's a hair care brand that I love a lot, and their branding is super cute. It's called Divi. It's an
Mm,
influencer brand by Danny Austin. So I feel like there's a lot of fun new brands coming out,
yeah.
and I think that it's those brands that are creating the innovation around what's out there, right? And it's how they message that product. It's the authenticity behind it that makes it really interesting. But as far as products go, I mean, look for ingestibles. Like look for things that you take internally and they're
Hmm.
affecting you externally.
Yeah.
That for sure. Oral care is going to be out of this world. In the next 5 years, we are going to have full oral care regimens. And you're starting to see that now with, the oil
Hmm.
pulling and all of those things. But the oral care is going to be huge because that's one of the largest areas that it's untapped for anti-aging. If you think about old people, and you've ever seen the
Yeah.
sunken in like mouths and things like that that happen in the structure, breathing, air, mouth tape, all of that's
Hmm.
going on. Some of the anti-aging, there's a really fun brand called Soak, Soke, and that is a sticky. Think of those sticky masks, those little face masks that you use, but
Yeah.
actually having it stick to your skin and kind of infuse and stick and hydrate your skin at a very advanced level.
Oh,
So
interesting.
as we go very specific, right? I mean, you still need to use a sunscreen every day. You still need to moisturize and exfoliate. I just saw my brother, who's a few years younger, and he's like, "Oh, well, I love seeing you, but everybody always says that you're my younger sister." And I'm like, "Yeah, because you never listened and you never used
Yeah.
eye cream or anything."
I know.
And it's like, it's just like working out, Michael. The more you
Yeah.
do, the better it gets.
So what's like a good regimen for me? I literally do not use. I don't wash my face. I wash it whatever if I'm showering. I don't do anything. What's like a good basic routine for me at night or in the morning? Because I want to stay young. Like what is a topical easy solution, just for me in the morning or night?
Use an enzyme cleanser. And
Okay.
one of my favorites is either Charisma, of course, but also Eminence has a great enzyme cleanser.
Okay.
And enzymes are better than acids, in my opinion, because enzymes are more gentle. They exfoliate your skin every day. They break the intercellular links
Mm,
in between your cells. So your dead cells
okay.
skin will fall off because after 25, Michael, they haven't been falling off very easily. So you want to
Okay.
get the
All
old
right.
ones out so the new ones can show. They look better.
Okay. Okay.
And you want to use a combination moisturizer and SPF if you
Okay.
can,
Daily. Do I have to put that on every day?
every day.
Every
I
day.
can see sun coming in right now from
Yeah,
the
there's
side of
sun.
your
I got
window
the yeah, I know. I know.
every day, every
Okay.
day. And then I love the mineral melt from Dune Sun Care. And
Mhm.
then if you want a vitamin C, my favorite vitamin C in the world is by Go Pure. It's a brand that's only sold online.
Oh,
They
okay.
have an advanced vitamin C that is the best vitamin C. And if you do that and you
I'm
talk to
good.
me in 3 months, you're going to be
I'll
like,
look
I
brand new.
cannot believe my skin changed so much because now you're protecting it, you're moisturizing it, you're lightening and brightening it, and you're exfoliating. And that's only 3 products.
Okay. I like that. That's simple for me. I can do that. And that's just in the daytime, right? I don't have to do I have to wash it at night or can I just go to bed with
Ideally, it would be great if you washed your skin at night, but if you just
Okay.
start with that. The other thing, Michael, that you can do is you can come into Media Lab Science. Let
Yes.
us pick out product for you to test
I
that
would
works
love
for your
to.
skin. You get it for free, you get paid, and
Yeah.
it's a great thing to do. And we have over 2,000 people in our database in the Los
Cool.
Angeles area that are testing products. And
I definitely want to come in. I think that'll be a lot of fun to just try out some products. I don't use anything, so I feel like I'm a good base. I don't have any other products going on right now. But yeah, it's funny. I was just listening to Huberman. I like his pod. He has like a lot of information, and he was talking about oral care. And then I saw this chart of like how bad some toothpaste is, and I feel like I use some like all natural toothpaste already, which was like in the middle of bad to good. And then I saw like just brushing your teeth was almost just as good. You just water and your bristles on your teeth was just pretty good. There's nothing going on, but it's crazy how much uh oral care affects not only like your mouth but your gut, and which could also affect your skin and your all this stuff. So it's almost overwhelming sometimes when you hear about all the new products and all the things that you have to do. But it is exciting. It's exciting because we're looking younger. You see all those pictures of people from like even looking back at my parents when they were 30 having me, they look like they're 50. It's just a weird thing. They almost look younger now when they're in their 80s than they did when they had me. And it's crazy that it's just like we're reversing it all. So it's exciting. How do people do they just go to MediaLabScience.com and they can sign up and kind of register to go be a tester? Because I'm going to do this, so maybe you'll see some content with my face on it.
yeah, super simple process. MediaLabScience.com. Try products with us. You just have to put your name and email address in. I think phone number too.
Okay,
We'll send you a quick text. You'll get a Calendly invite to set up a call with one of our team members to
cool.
explain what we do, because maybe my podcast information is not enough. And from there, they'll put you in through the system, and you'll get reached out for potential opportunities to try products with us. And some of our
Cool.
brands and some of our participants have really tried and booked some really big gigs with us as well, because they'll
Awesome.
be a product tester and they'll be like, oh, I really like them, they're authentic, I'd like to put them in my ad campaign. So that's
That's
really great
fun.
for the LA industry.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there'd be tons of people willing to sign up. So that's awesome. I'm going to sign up. I'm very excited. I appreciate you coming on the podcast today. Where can everybody find you if they want to message you or anything like that?
You can find me on TikTok at Skincare Genius. Sometimes I have some really good advice about sun care and other things as well.
Great.
And if you can't find me there, if you type in my name, unfortunately, on Google, you can get my phone number. So that's that. Otherwise, and professionally, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming on today.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.